friend of mine sent me a text message today. Trackhawk being delivered at 6 p.m. 707 horsepower, $100,000 Jeep Cherokee Trackhawk. Yes, I've never actually even seen one before. It's actually being delivered by truck in a parking lot in this shopping center that I'm in right now. And I just parked beside another white Prius, just like mine. In this video, we're going to take a look at 8 things that you need to know about the 2018 Jeep Cherokee Trackhawk.
I'm going to use y'all again pretty soon, in a couple months.
All right, what you getting next?
I think we're going to get a Hellcat.
Oh boy.
It's supercharged, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because, yeah, it's written right there, but you know what kind of stands out is the fact that it's written really, really small. You see supercharged right there? You know what I think actually would be kind of cool is if the owner took supercharged off of it. That would just make it like a sleeper. If you know what to look for, that right there, that means it's got more than 700 horsepower. And you know that the tires are going to be extra big and fat and wide and amazing. You're probably familiar with something called launch control. A lot of cars have it. This vehicle has launch control. However, launch control cannot be used for 500 miles. That's right. Jeep wants you to break it in, and so that whenever you do use launch control, it doesn't stress the engine unnecessarily or it doesn't mess it up. They just want you to break it in a little bit. But there's launch control, but not for 500 miles. And this one happens to have 9 miles on it, so they're not going to be using launch control for a little while. And it's kind of ironic actually that launch control cannot be used for 500 miles because each Trackhawk engine has to undergo about 42 minutes of rigorous dyno testing before it actually gets put into the body of the Trackhawk itself. So, but still, no launch until cute little V6 Mustang thinks he wanted to hear everybody laughing at him. The speedometer goes to 200 miles an hour. It has no speed limiter. You know how whenever you read about vehicles' top track speed, that information comes as a result of the manufacturer having to limit the speed of a vehicle. Not this one. It's not limited. But the top track speed is right at 180 miles an hour. You see those delicious, beautiful Brembo brakes? Well, the brake rotors on this are the largest brake rotors that have ever been installed on a Jeep from the factory. They are a whopping 15.75 inches in the front. And that's like gigantic. Look at that. That's my hand for perspective. I mean, that is just a massive brake rotor. Because something that is not limited by speed, you gotta slow it down. You gotta stop at some point. You see this little dial here? It says Track, Sport, Auto, Snow, and Tow. Well, when you roll it, it changes modes, right? Track mode is the only mode in which traction control can be fully disabled. Translation: track mode is the best mode to drive this thing in my opinion. It has no fog lights. This area on a regular Jeep does have fog lights there, but in this one you can see the little gray stuff right there behind that grill, and that's a radiator. And in order for this to be able to cool that massive supercharged 700 horsepower Hellcat engine, it has to have access to as much air as it can get Therefore, you remove fog lights, you allow more air to come in through that grate, get to that radiator, and cool that big fat engine. This is my 2015 Toyota Prius. It doesn't have fog lights either. This Trackhawk has 707 horsepower. That is 537 more horsepower than that Prius you see there in the corner. And that happens to be my Prius. Even if a car had 537 horsepower, you'd be like, holy crap, that thing's awesome. This actually happens to have 537 more than my thimble-shaped sewing machine. And I know this video was all about cool things about the Trackhawk, but you would be really, really mad at me if I didn't show you this. Look at that. All of that love, that's where that comes from. I love the throwback, the old school orange there. It's just at a whole different place. That's the Supercharger. And yeah, I'm really excited about shooting this vehicle. So let's start it up and see what it sounds like.